Hello and welcome to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We, of course, are broadcasting from the Esports Arena here in Winchester, Virginia at Shenandoah University. And tonight is going to be the kickoff for the Winter Rumble in Overwatch 2. We've got a lot of great matchups lined up for you tonight. But before we get started, I want to introduce myself. I am Alexander T. Kresek, and joining me to cast all of the action is the one, the only, Kyler. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm with you, Alex. How could I be doing any better? It's a fantastic time, dude. I'm so stoked for tonight.
I am so excited to have you here, and I'm excited for tonight as well. Kicking things off, we're going to have a best of 5, the Scorpions versus the Vultures, and then later after that, we're going to have a couple of best of 3s with coaches versus players. We'll have the Barracudas versus the Owls, which is the coach team. I'm really excited to see what that looks like. But of course, this best of 5, the Scorpions versus the Vultures, we're going to see some familiar names, some new names, really just a great way to kick off that winter season and see, what we're all bringing to this Overwatch Rumble action. And Kyler, I cannot be more excited. There's going to be so much. Anything in particular that you're looking forward to?
I mean, again, it's just going to be seeing these players shine, right? We were treated to just such a great matchup last week with what we were able to see. And we're going to see some of those players come out similarly here on the Scorpions, on the Vultures. It's going to be great to see how these players continue to progress and the level of competition they're able to bring to the table today.
Yeah, speaking of competition, let's take a look at the maps that we got tonight. Like I said, it will be a best of 5, so we could potentially go all the way. And of course, starting things off, kicking things off, it has to be Lijiang Tower Control. I feel like it's a staple at this point. A great starting map, a great way for the teams to really brawl it out a little bit and get a feel for each other to really figure out who's going to take control of the series and who's going to take control of that momentum. And Lijiang is a great test of that. We also get to see where some of these players get to flex some of their characters and where some of their staples really lie. So I'm excited. I love Lijiang. I think it's one of the best maps, and it is always a joy to watch Control because the action is insane. It's incredible.
Dude, no, you said it. I mean, I think it's going to be a great litmus test for how the rest of the series is going to go. Like you said, very brawly map here on the Lijiang, right? Allows for a lot of really fun comps off color heroes that we'll get to see here early on. I'm really excited to see the creativity, to see how these teams kind of play it out here.
Yeah, and it looks like the players are just about ready. So let's hop into game number 1. Scorpions versus the Vultures on night market or day market of Lijiang Tower. Here we go.
The day market strikes again. Yes, absolutely. And we see both teams here coming out here with a very similar comps. I mean, we see a little bit of difference here between Secrets and Prefix, but that's the only thing that separates the teams here. Some simp action going on to teleport here to play earlier. We see the Scorpions get on first, and now we're going to see both engage, feel each other out here a lot here. Sweatpants and Swiffer here are going to be able to create a lot of space for their teams. Oh, but we see Prefix. Vultures strike first and get that first blood here. Huge protection. Suzu goes down there by Mango to keep up King Swiffer against the charge of Sweatpants. And King Swiffer now strikes back for the Scorpions themselves. Fire Strike finds Zenical here, and that's going to allow the Scorpions here to get a little more aggressive. But here comes Sweatpants swinging onto point, trying to find something in the Vultures now. Although going down early, the Scorpions take point first. The Vultures win the first fight and will flip point back to themselves here, Alex.
Yeah, and something that I really like there is in the beginning of the Scorpions, King Swiffer doing a great job of taking space, getting aggressive, really using the walls to their advantage. But at the end of the day, the Vultures, the Prefix was able to get that first pick, and after that, everything started rolling in favor of the Vultures, and then Sweatpants, realizing they had the advantage, pressed that advantage and kept moving forward. And it is so scary to get run down by a Reinhardt, especially with a Lucio to pocket them. Naiwu gonna get taken down actually Naiwu gonna get a kill onto Zenical very early. The sim battle goes in the way, but Sweatpants pulls out a Shatter. Will it be enough?
Absolutely, and let's see. I mean, Sweatpants is just going crazy right now. Finds another 2 here in the face. Shatter and the charge on the King Swiffer. Zenico follows up, finding Mango as well. Scorpions doing everything they can as the shield comes down by Naiwu, but it looks like the Vultures are still going to be able to hold on to find Stitchy at the end of the fight here, and the Vultures really getting into a rhythm. And I think something that we're going to have to keep an eye on here as this round continues to go on is really going to be the battle here of the DPS.
Yes.
We see that Naiwu now switching from the Sim onto the Hanzo. We're going to try to look for some picks here, but Vultures and Prefix really is where the difference is going to lie. Prefix is going to be able to put so much pressure here onto the shield of King Swiffers. We see the tire go out and get teleported.
Ooh.
Find secrets in Naiwu there, and that's going to be huge. Prefix picks up another for the Vultures as well, and that thing would be almost all she wrote here for the Scorpions in round 1. It's going to be tough to have to engage 90 and counting for the Vultures. Let's see what they're able to do, but pressure going on by the Vultures. Great play there, Alex, with the tire here to really open up a lot of space there.
Yeah, and while we're looking at these teams, right, Prefix, one of these newer names that we haven't really seen too much of as the Vultures are able to clear out that point. But although Prefix may be a relatively new name to that the Overwatch Rumble series, the Esports Tower Rumble, they've definitely been making a name for themselves, from that crispy 3K to the first blood at the beginning of Day Market there. Prefix has kind of been going crazy on this Junkrat, especially against very veteran players at this point. Of course, on the side of Scorpions, we have Mango, we've got King Swiffer, we have Naiwu, a lot of big names that we've seen go crazy time and time again. Of course, on the side of Vultures, we can't look out, we can't, you know, look over Soup or C Squared, you know, a lot of great names, but these new names are here to play. They're here to make a name for themselves, and Prefix switching off of that Junkrat on to a little bit more of a more damaging character, a little bit more accuracy of a character. I think it'll be really interesting to see how this goes. Never mind, it doesn't even matter. I can't even finish my thought as Prefix is able to win out against Secrets and picks up another First Blood.
Finding their value already, and I mean, I just love the aggressive style of Sweatpants here, really putting so much faith in this support. As we see, is really paying off here. C Squared able to hit him with a huge protection to keep him alive here, so we get a Soup boop, putting out King Swiffer here onto the Arista now. Vultures flip the point first to them now. Points coming into their favor, and the Vultures really continuing this momentum from the night market here. Soup trying to find that boop onto Stitchy. Stitchy still managing to stay alive. I don't know if they'll bounce back from that one. They do shut me up very quickly there. Scorpions now regaining here onto point. Like you mentioned, yeah, we see Prefix switching onto this Sojourn, which will certainly allow for some higher play potential, I think. See how they're able to charge up. Soup finding secrets early here, which is going to allow Prefix to play really uncontested. But as I say that, Mango, who is one of those standout performers that we've seen continuously throughout these Esports Tower Rumbles here, finding the pick here as well. Both teams doing well to really just kind of feel each other out. And here comes Sweatpants. That is something that you don't want to see, powered on by the speed of Soup. Secret's able to put Sweatpants down at the end of the fight here, but the value already coming out here for the Vultures. And look at this ult economy here, Alex. It is scary to see.
Yeah, it is just in favor of the Vultures right now. They've got 4, almost 5 ultimates. We do see the Kasune rush out of Mango, and we are going to see that Arista ultimate as well. But Soup popping that beep, keeping the team alive, but only for so long as Sweatpants gets taken down, and the rest of the Vultures are following. I will say, we did see Zenico pop that Sim ult, but there are still 3 ultimates in favor of the Vultures right now. On the side of Scorpions, they have Beat, and Naiwu will have that duplicate to come up soon at the start of this next fight. Scorpions now on point. They have a point for right now, but how long can they hold it, especially when you have a player like Sweatpants who is coming up with the Shatter? Not any, like, real shield potential to eat that Shatter right now. Beat comes out, it's popped early. Same with Kasune Rush as well. Shatter comes down, finds 2.
Beautiful.
Sweatpants is going to pick them up and is looking for more. Will find a 3rd. Can he find the 4th? The damage is done. Sweatpants with the 4th.
Oh my god, 4.
And the clear with that. The Vultures completely flip point and take control.
Sweatpants is playing like a man possessed right now, just absolutely insane. Beautiful Kitsune rush there by C Squared to really set it up there. I want to make sure I call that out. Soup giving the speed to really push in, and then just a perfect shatter. It's really what you love to see as it goes out. Sweatpants, or Prefix rather, popping overclock and finding Naiwu there, who has the ult as well to replicate on the Echo. So that's going to be huge here to start this fight off. 96 and counting. It's going to go into overtime here for the Vultures. The Scorpions are really going to need something to happen as we see King Swiffer coming onto point pretty late into this fight, kind of alone as the rest of the Scorpions manage to come in. And there goes the replicate there by Naiwu, who is able to find Sweatpants, which is perfect. You want to find the enemy tank, and there goes the shatter as well. Sweatpants finds Secret, but the Scorpions are now regaining, getting onto point, and are likely going to flip this over to themselves here at a pretty critical time here in the series, Alex.
It's so important that they get this. Of course, they prevented themselves from losing. Soup just going to stall out a little bit longer, stand there. I think they just need to, the Vultures just need to reset, regroup, and take this back. Now, though, while we look at this ult economy, the Scorpions standing on a little bit better of that ult economy. They have 2 ultimates in the bag. With that Lucio ultimate, the beat coming up pretty quickly. On the side of the Vultures, of course, they've got beat will be up in just a second here. They do have the wall, and Sweatpants, if he can get a couple hammers in, will have the shatter as well. But the Scorpions are going on the offensive. They're going to drop that Kitsune rush and charge into the opponent. Beat is forced by Soup. We are going to see Naiwu pick up Soup as well, so now the Vultures are down a tank and a healer at this point, and they're just going to need to run back to base and reset, or they get sent back to base by Secrets.
Great play there by the Vultures. I mean, we're seeing some very well-timed Kitsune rushes here. Mango initiates the fight early, and again, powered on by Stitchy's speed boost, gets King Swiffer in there, who isn't able to find anybody with the Orisa ult, but still, nonetheless, the value from just running into the face of the Vultures is found. As we see the Vultures now re-engaging this fight, Prefix pops that overclock, and that's going to be dangerous here. We see the Kitsune rush come down here as well. Both teams trading back and forth, but Zenical's able to find Secrets here as well, and now the Vultures are on the front foot, Alex. The Scorpions doing everything they can to hold on. Stitchy bouncing around all over the point and getting chased down by Prefix, who finally finds them here. Last one is Naiwu on point, but it's not going to be enough. Sweatpants is able to put them down with the fire strike here. Secret's doing what they can to touch with the Tracer, but that is going to be it, and that is point in favor of the Vultures early on.
Yeah, I really liked how both of those teams looked. Of course, the Vultures started out very, very strong in that round 1 on the market, and then round 2, they started out really strong as well. They got the 99% uncontested practically. Yeah. And then we saw the Scorpions, that sign of life, start to come back into them. They really were coming into their own, realizing what targets they needed to focus down, who to take out, who to target first. Soup, of course, on that Lucio, a huge target that needs to get eliminated first. That'll really shut down and slow down a lot of that comp. And they almost did it. 99% to the Scorpions, just not quite enough to finish it out. And the Vultures, of course, as you said, will take game number 1 in this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, both teams looking really strong here. Pretty evenly matched here. I mean, you said it. I mean, I think Sweatpants is one of the standout performers here just from that main tank position, but is really being enabled so well by the back line here. C Squared, Soup, they look great so far. They're really working in tandem. Both teams came out with some great ult combos as well, really indicative of their teamwork, their communication. I think we might have a great series on our hands here, Alex.
I am so excited. I really like that you brought up that communication, that teamwork, and that ult synergy that we saw a lot of. I mean, especially when you have that Kitsune rush being popped, it synergizes basically with every single ultimate in the game and by itself. So utilizing that to its fullest is wonderful to see, and I cannot wait. So let's take a look and see what they've chosen for game number 2. What is that second map? It will be Escort, and it will be Havana. Ooh.
All right, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I always love these Escort maps, especially Havana. We know the length of this first point, and typically what we'll see here as well is really aggressive hold style to try and get as much time bled out as possible by the defensive team here. They like to hold on that gas station right outside of spawn. They really try to force as many fights as you can, just be beneficial there and try to get the offensive team really stuck there. Again, just take as many seconds as you can because an escort, every second matters, Alex.
Yeah, and something again interesting. I've mentioned this in the past before, but something really interesting about Havana is it wasn't. It was a banned map out of season 1 of Overwatch 2, where it was a map that we didn't really get to see a lot of, like Rialto. So the fact that it's now back in rotation, we are able to see a little bit more of Havana, and on a map that we haven't seen a lot in that competitive sphere. So I think it's great to see this map come back up, and like you said, some teams really opt for those very, very aggressive holds. Some teams just like to hold that long angle. It'll really just depend on what kind of fits that play style of the team. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what both of these teams are going to bring out for us. And it looks like we're just about ready to hop into game number 2. Scorpions versus the Vultures. Vultures are up 1, but anything can happen, especially after the performance that we saw out of the Scorpions.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it looks really great here, and I'm excited to see how both teams can bounce back here as well and kind of continue to push forward. It's going to be very, very well done. I mean, we saw, again, the Vultures just come out really strong here. And we do see, however, a sub here, Troll now taking over the tank role, moving in here as well. It's going to certainly be interesting to see, again, how both teams can push forward. We see Soup now over on the Mercy as well. He's going on to the Baptiste, taking a little bit of an anti-dive role. Trying to see here again, Prefix coming out on the Junkrat that worked so well on that day market, as we like to call it here. But we see the Scorpions King Swiffer coming out here on the Ramatra as well. Secrets trying to take advantage of this really long first point here with the Widowmaker here as well. But the Vulture's doing a really great job staying around that corner and forcing them to play into the sightline as well. But we're seeing the Scorpions here now getting some free real estate, able to push forward, and we're seeing a pretty traditional sort of hold here by the Vultures, trying to force them onto the corner as well, as we see Prefix and Troll find picks here early, forcing the Scorpions back to spawn, and that looks like it'll be the first fight won. Vultures out.
Yeah, and that's really all it takes is just 1 or 2 good picks, and then the team, the opposing team is just going to need to walk back to base, get that reset, especially if one of those picks is your healer, especially a very potent healer like that Ana. You really just got to back off. But Zenical being a little bit too aggressive will get popped by Secrets. And like I said, all it takes is 1 good pick. Prefix on this beautiful off angle, but Naiwu will find Troll on the tank, and the Scorpions now have the advantage. Soup will have the opportunity to get the res though. Prefix down to 2 health, barely survives. The Battle Mercy coming in to take out Prefix. And with that, the rest of the Scorpions are still pushing forward. Wow, Stitchy is really just pushing forward on this Battle Mercy.
The 5 extra bullets. They said it wasn't much of a buff, but we see Stitchy pushing forward, taking advantage here. Looking great here, but we see the Vultures now fighting back late into this fight. Scoop getting Battle Mercy of their own, but King Swiffer hops the ult, and that is going to melt the other team. Just pushing forward, relentless here. Scorpion able to close out this first point on the back of King Swiffer and the pistol of a Valk Stitchy Rada.
And we haven't seen Ramacha really too much in that competitive sphere, but that ultimate is so scary. It's so hard to get away from it, and the longer that you stay in it, the longer the ultimate just stays up. So it really just allows King Swiffer to run down the opposition and keep up that ultimate. Secrets with a beautiful pick onto Zenical once more. Prefix does have that ultimate, but it doesn't find anyone. King Swiffer will get hit and then eventually taken down, and Prefix finds 2 as he also collects on Naiwu.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Secrets hanging on to his Widowmaker certainly is going to be a good pick here as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a switch some of these tighter angles here, make it a little bit tougher to try and find, but we still see Secrets able to find value. We see Naiwu now switching over onto the Hanzo as well. So Scorpion's going a little bit of a double sniper here as well, trying to take advantage of the elevation, mobility potential here of this second point. But Prefix is finding so much value on this jump. We saw that tire do a ton of damage and really enable them to back King Swiffer early. And as I mentioned, King Swiffer now going forward, finding Prefix as well. But look at the reses by both of these Mercies playing so well. Stitchy Rita able to get the res. Soup able to do the same. We see the Valve now come out here and Soup with the double kill on the Mango and King Swiffer.
Goodness.
We're seeing some unbelievable Mercy play, Alex, here. So aggressive. It's just so productive as well. You typically see that as a little bit of a meme, but it's working very, very well here. The Vulture is able to take advantage and hold early. But look at Stitchy Rita again. What is up with this Mercy play, dude?
What on earth? I don't understand what I'm seeing. You know, a lot of people look at the Mercies and they go, they just hold left click, don't do anything else. But these Mercies are going crazy. These battle Mercies are insane. Troll will eventually take out Stitchy, but the damage is done. The rest of the team was pushed back by this flying Mercy.
The new engage is now pushed forward as we see C-Squared put the window down as well. Scorpions are able to get some room here, push forward here. Big anti goes onto Troll here as well, and that is going to be all she wrote for Troll. Soup goes down as well by the arrow of Naiwu. And now the Scorpions are looking really dangerous here, Alex. Pushing forward, Secrets finds Prefix as well, and they've got some room here. A little bit of a tough position for the Vultures to be in. We see King Swiffer continuing to push forward, and that is a huge dragons by Naiwu, perfectly timed, and that will likely be enough to push the Scorpions forward and close this point out, Alex. Prefix able to find Secrets at the back end of this fight as well, but it's not going to be enough. The Vultures continue, or the Scorpions rather, excuse me, continue to push forward here, find some room. Vultures onto the back foot. The Scorpions in a close position now, looking to try and further their lead.
Yeah, the Vultures really got to find a place to set up now, as they can get picked off while they're trying to walk back and set up, as we see Naiwu find C-Squared, who's just out in the open a little bit. And look at this aggression from the Scorpions. They really have taken that inch and they've been turning it into a mile. You can't let them run away with this. The Vultures still haven't been able to really set down and dig in their heels quite yet. And that Ramattra ultimate will get popped, but gets pushed back so far, isn't able to find anything with it, and that is just about a wasted ultimate. Ramattra, though, not going to slow down, keeps pushing forward. Troll just trying to find these players who have found that high ground. You have to be very careful, especially if you have a player like Secrets who's looking on the high ground. Soup will be credited for the kill, and BAP window will be dropped. This is one of the more difficult hold points, choke points here on this map right here as they're entering the fort. It is so difficult, the spawns are so close that really the Scorpions are going to need a good concerted push. They're going to need to work together and almost get a team wipe if they want to push forward and get the finish here.
You're absolutely right. And I mean, they were able to weather the storm of the Vultures window here, and now they will counter with one of their own, and there goes the overclock as well. That's going to be a ton of damage. But we see the Kitsune Rush come out here as well, and the Vultures now doing a great job of weathering this whole push of the Scorpions as well. Scorpions trying to do what they can to continue this push forward. Secret here trying to charge up, find a railgun that's going to enable the team to push forward here. We see Naiwu get into the backline here with the console as well. All looking for a pick, but none are coming just yet. Troll is able to find Stitchy Rita. Naiwu was able to find Prefix as well, though. Both teams now trading back and forth. We see King Swiffer here with the ultimate online. Not needing to use it just yet, but there they go, and there go the picks from Secrets. We know the ability of Secrets, and we know the skill ceiling that Sojourn brings to the table, and there they go. 4K to close it out here, and the Scorpions are now on the border, able to close out Havana with 35 seconds left on the clock. Now putting the ball into the court of the Vultures here, Alex.
I'm really impressed with the Scorpions. Their push was very well done. They were very methodical and patient, and they knew when to step up, when to take advantage of the situation, and when to hold back, when to wait, when to slow down the pressure, slow down the game just a little bit, and wait for their opportunities. I was a little dubious about the double sniper setup because sometimes it can work out really well for you, or sometimes it can work out very poorly and it can backfire in your face. But I think with Naiwu and Secrets really just being such impactful players, that the Scorpions were able to get away with it and they were able to succeed and kind of work really well with that composition. Of course, King Swiffer on the Ramatra doing an incredible job of taking aggro and doing a lot of damage to the front line and even the back line in certain situations to really take a lot of that focus and attention away from the snipers into characters like that Ramatra who can just eat up a ton of damage.
Yeah, it's hard to really identify, a standout position that we've seen as of so far. I mean, we've seen some great play from the tank position. You mentioned King Swiffer, who looked great on that last push and was really essential. But, I mean, we've seen Prefix really be a standout performer so well.
Yeah.
Just really making their mark here from the DPS line. But then something that I think is, that we don't talk about enough, essentially, really is this support line as well. I mean, we've seen great play here from Soup and Squared. Mango is always somebody that we're always calling out as well, who's always doing great plays. And Stitch Rita really kind of found their place here as well. Again, we've seen a ton of value come out from really unlikely spots. All those Battle Mercies putting out so much value as well and really pushing the pace for each of their teams. But we are now seeing the Vultures try and keep this dominance going so far. You see the first two picks come out, C Squared as well, now putting a ton of value. We're talking about that support line here, and that is what they're doing to continue. Troll now going forward, hitting a huge block onto Naiwu as well. And here come the Vultures winning these fights early and pushing this part early and forward fast. The Scorpions may not even be able to regain here on this defense, Alex.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll have enough time or space to regroup and get a last defense here. They were pushed up pretty far back, trying to hold that corner, trying to really hold them as much as they could. We might be able to, but Naiwu's going to find another pick onto Prefix, and the Scorpions are coming into this fight already down a member. They will stop the cart, and Secrets will find Zenical. I guess it is enough to stop this push. I was kind of worried about Prefix getting instantly picked, but Secrets there to pick up the ball, pick up that mantle, and just keep pushing forward. Naiwu and Secrets just going insane right now, finding more and more picks, and the Vultures are just going to have to walk back.
No, very well done by the Scorpions. I was unsure if they were going to be able to make it back, like you said. Yeah, that early pick on Prefix as well made it tough for the Vultures, and the Scorpions did a great job to regain and stop them short here. Let's see what they're able to do now on this defense. Certainly in a good position. Really having to force the Vultures onto the point here, which is going to favor the Scorpions greatly. A little bit of a tough hold position, but they've got great positioning so far early, bouncing around from the high ground. And there we go. We find that pick early. Mango's able to follow up on a Prefix as well. And now we see ult starting to go online for both teams, which is really going to be the story of this next push here. Vultures coming up on 4 ults, but Scorpions almost have all 5 online. That trance is going to be essential here.
Yes.
Likely we'll see it be held for the Blade of Prefix. The Nano Blade here is going to be a ton of damage for both teams, though, certainly. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they play this. A lot of really strong ults online. You're going to have to commit a lot of resources to each way. But time ticking here now for the Vultures. We're getting close to 1 minute as we see the window go down here for the Scorpions. Try and take this fight early. And we see now the trance comes out to try and counter the Dravidic Flux of Troll. And now here comes the Nano Blade into the backline. Prefix finds one already. A great Dravidic Flux here by King Swiffer. Isn't able to put out Prefix. But now both teams again going back to the Spirit there. Put their trance out as well. And look at Naiwu in the backline.
No way.
Finds 2 for the Scorpions. Prefix is able to put down Naiwu there. And now both teams trading back and forth, but King Swiffer is able to find Stupid. That's going to be brutal now for the Vultures. King Swiffer finds Troll as well. 30 seconds now and counting. And I will try, or Prefix there, I apologize, tries to get out there. And is able to hang out in the back line, but Mango goes and cleans that up, and that's going to be a tough stagger for the Vultures. Now or never, 15 seconds and counting. They're just going to need to try and get on and stall point. Overclock being held by Secrets, and we saw what they were able to do at the end of their push here. Scorpion looking deadly here. Alex, you see the overclock now come on. By Secrets and Zenical. This is nuts. Stitch Rita is able to find Lamp. Both teams trading back and forth. Secret's able to find Zenical. It's looking like it is going in the favor of Scorpions, who are now on the board. Team kill to close it out, and we have a series on our hand here, Alex.
We do indeed, and I think it really came down to that last series of engagements, those last bits of fight, especially that very, very last fight where we saw Secrets holding that ultimate, and you know, there was nothing that the Vultures could do except run through that doorway and just walk into that overclock from Secrets. But here we go, Naiwu does get play of the game. This beautiful Dragons will find two, and escape for the opposition. Really a great job from them. You know, Scorpions on the board now. The Vultures had a fantastic game number 1 on Lijiang. The Scorpions biting back. They're fighting back onto Havana, really making a name for themselves, putting their foot down, showing their dominance. And I mean, really, that game was in the Scorpions' favor almost the entirety of the match, especially when the Vultures were on the attack. They just couldn't get past that corner. We almost saw them complete that first checkpoint, and maybe if they'd done that, we would have seen something a little bit different out of the map. But the Scorpions able to get back in time, make that defense, and hold them there. Just after that disappointment of not being able to finish off that checkpoint, it really seemed like the wind was taken out of their sails.
Yeah, and it's always so tough to have to go back into that. Like I said, with Havana, with how long that first point is and how much time it takes to get back from spawn, you saw that the Scorpions were really able to take advantage of that defensively. Positionally, they looked great the entire time. They looked so strong. Counted them out a little bit too early after the Vultures won that first fight. They're able to get back, stall cart right before that first point, like you said. Did a great job to really regain. Showed a lot of heart there, showed a lot of strength, and yeah, 1-1. Anything can happen at this point now.
Yeah, anything can happen. And this is a best of 5. We have still plenty more maps to go, plenty more things to go. And while we're talking about it, let's take a look at the next map up on the rotation. It will be a hybrid map, and you know what that means. That means that we're going to Kings Row. If we talk about Lijiang being the classic, we have to, of course, talk about Kings Row as well. It's really one of these favorite maps by practically every member of the Overwatch community. We love going back here. The versatility, the creativity of these comps, we could see anything. And I think we've already seen a little bit of different compositions, a little bit of different characters from both of these teams, including that Ramatra as well that was pulled out. And Kings Row really is that freedom of expression. These players could really do anything and everything, and I love what we see out of Kings Row every single time.
I know, I feel like I'm talking about it all the time on this Esports Tower Rumble, but it is such a great map, right? And if anybody's, continuing to listen here, I probably sound like a broken record because I echo the same sentiments, right? It really allows for both teams to just play creatively. There's so much value that you can find there defensively, funneling through that choke, but certainly if you're a flanker, right, you can kind of go around through a hotel there as well. We see the Widow and the Clock Tower at the beginning as well. There's just so much that these teams can really unfold here. We've seen a lot of versatility from the tank position so far as well, so it's really hard to pin down what we'll see from out of any one player, but, I mean, that's the joy of Kings Row. It's just a great map. I'm really excited here.
Yes, indeed. I think that's enough speculation, enough anticipation. Let's hop into game number 3 and see what sort of composition these players are going to be bringing out for us today.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see. I mean, again, really, we're just kind of on bated breath here as we wait to see as both teams start to pick early. Again, I mean, we've seen a ton of value from particularly the tank line. I mean, we see now Sweatpants coming back in for Troll. We saw Troll come in last round. Looked really great on that Sigma. Great time for Vidic Flux. We saw Sweatpants come out on Lijiang. A really strong Ryan. I mean, just unbelievable, aggressive play there. But we see showing early that they're showing that Winston here, which I think is going to be great here, really allows the team to push through that choke super easily, just jump over the top of it, get onto the high ground, and really force the defensive team back into themselves here.
Yeah, and something else.
It's going to be really great.
Oh, sorry, please continue.
No, I was going to see Alex. I love your voice. It's going to be really great to see, again, how we see Secrets showing that Widow early, so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Secrets has been doing fantastic on the Widowmaker, but on the side of the Vultures, Prefix back onto that Junkrat, and we've seen such great things out of this Junkrat, so I'm really excited, especially on the defense, especially with Zenical in a more defensive role with that Mei, really making it difficult for the Scorpions to get much space or get into the point, and once they are, how can they escape when there's a Junkrat and a Mei on that field? Of course, we're going to see Sweatpants have such mobility with the Winston. Unfortunately, Secret's not going to get up there, but will find Zenical. Maybe that was all. We thought it was a whiff, but it was intentional. It was calculated, as we do see Prefix finds up Naiwu before falling to King Swiffer, who, might I say, has been doing incredible on this Ramatra.
Absolutely, yeah, and I talked about the offensive potential of Winston here from Sweatpants, but we see on the defense here, is getting put on a little bit of the defensive, having to run away a little bit here. Really great play by the Scorpions to really open it up, but we do see Sweatpants find Stitcherita as well, and that's going to give the Butchers a little bit of hope here early to try and re-engage back on play. As you see now, they're coming back from this spawn here. Scorpions so close closing out this first point, but they can't do it just yet. As we see Sweatpants leap on the Mango, the protection Cruiser comes out, and the Scorpions are able to close out this first point in the face of the Vulture. See now, Sweatpants continue to put out this damage as a really charged ult, get close to this primal rage here as well. Scorpions still able to push cart here again and close that first point out as well. And we'll see the Butchers now allow them to push a little bit back here, but the Mei really able to get some value here. Wall come down here from Mango, but even still, the Vultures are able to weather it and find the picks in the face here. Sweatpants really being a menace on this here, really just getting so much value, jumping into the back line, jumping onto this. And really just continuing to push forward here as the Vultures here now, Alex, holding 4 ults, close to 5 here with Zenical very close to the worker.
Yeah, and again, Prefix tries to get in, keeps getting snuffed out with any sort of opportunity. It really does seem like a Prefix versus Naiwu battle, but speaking of battle, we see battles of the tank ultimates. Ramatra ultimate will get popped, does find C-squared. Sweatpants just trying to push him away from the rest of the team. Will jump, and the kill feed is blue and red as trades are flying. Prefix finds 2, but gets taken down. Naiwu does have that blade, does pop it, is hunting. Will find Soup, now looking for Sweatpants as well, looking for more, who does eventually get taken down. And at the end of the day, it looks like the Scorpions got the better trade of this fight. They are still moving forward. And on the side of ultimates, it looks like we just have 2 support ultimates left. Zenical will have Blizzard coming up. Those are really the ultimates of note to be looking at for this next fight. Something that I hadn't thought about before, but we're looking at right now, is the effectiveness of this Ramatra versus that Winston tank matchup, especially with that field that Ramatra has that you set down. Anyone in the air, anyone jumping, immediately gets pulled to the ground, and it prevents Winston from jumping in or out of situations as long as he's standing inside that field. So something really important to note, and something that Sweatpants really has to be careful of, especially going into this. But I guess it doesn't matter, because if the Ramatra was pushed back far enough, Sweatpants will just find your healers and take them out, Kyler. And they've just been doing such an amazing job of getting these picks. But when it comes to these major team fights, the Scorpions have just been getting the better half.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think that's the positive, really being on the attack here necessarily is defense. You can really be dominating a fight or a match and win the majority of the fights, but the offense really only needs to win 4 or 5 good fights the entire time to really get this cart to the end here. But the Vultures have really started to dig in. I think we really started to find them in the part of the map here in the alleyways, right? They don't have a ton of room to run away, as we see Blizzard come out, as well as the entire Prefix is able to find too. And Blizzard has held a zone off for the Butchers, who are now starting to push forward here. The Scorpions are just going to kind of accept it, fall back in the spawn to try and regain quickly. Very, very smart by them.
Yes. I mean, there's only so much you can do at that situation, right? You have to just fall back at that point. You can't keep going forward. You realize the fight is done. You just fall back, regroup, and come back stronger. Because look at, Kyler, look at this ultimates on the side of Scorpions. They have that ult advantage.
Exactly, yeah, and I mean, this goes into what I said, right, where you can really just save up for a pretty significant ult push here. We see now laying it out just a little bit. Fire comes out here as well early, trying to find some space. Sweatpants is able to find Naiwu. It's interesting, to say the least. Prefix doesn't find anybody in that tire. See as well, the Scorpions now trying to engage here, trades going back and forth. Mango's able to plant these squares as well. Stitchy finding Soup, and the ult comes out here by King Flipper, who's taking full advantage of it, continuing to move forward. The Scorpions now on the front foot, close to closing out again this second play here with 1 minute online. Naiwu now switching onto the Reaper, like I mentioned, to try and counter the aggressiveness of Sweatpants. But Sweatpants was still able to find Naiwu there, which is, again, very hard to do as a Winston player, diving into the face of a Reaper. Scorpions now, Alex, continuing to push forward, and we see them here close out the second point.
Yeah, and Sweatpants is just so dangerous on this Winston, picking up the backline, picking up these supports. I mean, Stitchy has just had a pretty bad run of the game so far, keeps getting picked over and over again. But while we're talking, the point has been completed to the second checkpoint. And now they're moving on into the Forge. This is where the defense gets particularly strong, and it's particularly difficult to break that. But Kisune Rush does get popped by the Scorpions. We do see Sweatpants jump in, does have the Primal Rage to the name, might not even need it, but King Swiffer picks up 2. Mango gets taken out. King Swiffer finds a 3rd one. Prefix finds Stitchy. This fight is all over the place.
Wow.
I can't tell who's winning here. Reaper still alive, but just barely will get taken down. The Primal Rage gets popped as well, and with that, King Swiffer is just getting pushed back to the fountain.
Wow, that was an insane fight. I mean, you really called it. That was crazy. The Scorpions came out. King Swiffer got 3 very quickly. But the Vultures were able to bounce back there and really keep this thing alive for themselves and keep this defense going. But we see the Scorpions now got some room. Are able to push forward a little bit here. See King Swiffer again has this deadly Ramatra ult, which is really going to allow the Scorpions to engage well. Naiwu goes into the backline, gets the Blossom off, destroys the lamp, as well as Soup here. Going to allow now for the Scorpions to push forward. It's got some room here, but they're now under 1 minute. King Swiffer pushing forward, puts Prefix out here, but Sweatpants getting into the backline again, finding Naiwu. Soup able to push Stitchy out as well, and the Vultures doing well to continuously stay alive in these difficult situations and keep their hopes alive on the defense. Scorpions now pushing forward, but the tire comes out and finds King Swiffer rather. C-Squared now coming back on as well. 15 seconds. The Scorpions are going to be forced to get into a tough position here and really just have to try and stall this point. We see Naiwu getting close, uses rate to just get on the point to try and force overtime. Sinchirita as well, close to a beat here. Oh, but Prefix finds Sinchirita, and that's going to be it. The Scorpions on the doorstep of finishing out King's Row. Certainly not a push to be ashamed of, but the Vultures now give themselves an opportunity, Alex, to win this on this push.
Yeah, the Scorpions did a fantastic job, but like you said, the Vultures giving themselves a win con here. The Scorpions were not able to finish out that point. The Vultures valiantly held there. They were able to get those picks when they needed them, especially when we saw the Scorpions hovering around the point trying to get into overtime. But with that, the Vultures do have an opportunity. They will need to finish out this map if they want to take a win. There is no more draw or overtime con here. It is just either win or lose for the Vultures. They need to go all the way, and if they get held up by the Scorpions, Scorpions will be taking this map. We'll have to see what happens next, and we are going to see a little bit of changes coming out here. A lot of different compositions. Zenical hovering over that Bastion. That's a very interesting pick for me. Prefix, of course, sticking on to the Junkrat. If it's not broken, why would you change it? Prefix has been doing amazing on this junk. On the side of the Scorpions, though, we're having major switch-ups here. King Swiffer now looking over on this Orisa. Secrets on the Sojourn. Naiwu picking up the Cassidy, a character we haven't seen just yet. Mango going to be on the Zen, and Stitchirita on that BAP, which I will say, Stitchirita, of course, a fantastic support player, was struggling a bit on the push there, just kept getting picked out over and over again. I think this BAP may give them a little bit more survivability and the ability to hang back a little bit and not be the focus of everyone's attention moving into this defense.
Agreed, and I really think that just speaks to the aggressiveness again of Sweatpants and the focus that they were able to pull out and really put the focus on a Stitcherita. Very frustrating position to be in as for when you're just getting dove on constantly by that Winston. As we see now, the Scorpions find a pick early here. Nihul rolling around the corner with that Cassidy and just clicking on Soup, putting them away. Scorpions on a strong defensive here early. Zenical staying on this Bastion, which I respect and I love. I want to see it work so bad here. Always. Just continuously now trying to organize, push around this corner here with Sweatpants again returning to this Reinhardt that we saw in the Lijiang that found so much value. Very, very strong pick for Sweatpants here. And we see the Vultures now rolling around to try and take the higher ground. We see the Secrets trying to zone them out here. Very good rotation here by the Vultures. This is the type of thing that you love to see, and again, indicative of great teamwork by these teams and why these players will go on to compete at a higher collegiate level. Prefix goes out, finds Naiwu there. What else but has Prefix been doing this entire time, just finding so much value. The window goes down, and that is a dangerous situation is Sentry mode. Oh, but here we go. Mango pops the trance, just try and contest, keep the team alive, doing a great job here. I mean, the Vultures are continuing to push forward here. That is likely going to be it for this first point. Scorpions are going to try and just salvage their spawns here and try and get in a more aggressive defensive position. But Vultures, very, very strong push. And I mean, that's really encouraging. If you, what you like to see there, you know, if you're looking at the Vultures, they got hard stunted there at that point, or that first choke point, pushing onto first point, regrouped beautifully and did so good. And that's what this King's Row map allows these teams to do. Get creative with their pushes, rotated around the backside, took the high ground, and did a great job again to take space and take that first balance.
I completely agree, and you know, even with the ultimates expended as well as a couple of early picks, the Vultures were persistent and they knew what they needed to do. They knew what they wanted to do, and wow, it's just working out for them right now as they find more and more picks. Soup gets credited for 3 kills here. The BAP is going crazy right now. Still 3 ultimates on the... Whoa, my goodness! Wow, Sweatpants with a perfect pickup on his Secrets. Vultures still have 3, almost 4 ultimates, almost 5 ultimates to their name. Scorpions have 3 ultimates. Ooh, Vultures are in a perfect position right now. They're just going to keep moving forward. This second checkpoint, especially when we get to the end, is really difficult to defend. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Scorpions just give it up in favor of holding into the forge here. They don't want to waste too many ultimates here on this push, especially if it's not going to be favorable. But King Swiffer gets behind Sweatpants. We do see both the tire and the windows get dropped, and oh my gosh, the kill feed is just blue, except for Naiwu, who does pick up C-squared, but not before getting dropped by Prefix. You cannot escape this Junkrat.
Prefix is an absolute beast on this Junkrat, so oppressive, just able to zone off so many areas with grenades, putting out so much damage. And I mean, look at his damage potential. I mean, really by both teams, but I mean, particularly what we've seen from the Vultures. Bastion, Junkrat can just really oppress the enemy team and make life so brutal for any opposing tank player. And that's what we've seen continuously so far. The Vultures really in control of this game so far, and now getting very close again to putting out this King's Row map. Again, they have, look at this time bank for them.
So much time.
Just so much time, and this is what they enabled themselves to do here with this defense and the strength of this push. You see Mango pop the trance early here. Secrets putting the overclock as well. But the Vultures just, again, showing their patience, showing their discipline, staying away and just not letting the Scorpions get any value from these ultimates. And there goes Prefix again. Finds Secrets. Sweatpants now pushing forward on this Ramatra as well. And the Scorpions now on the back foot, and Sweatpants just, again, pushing the pace so well for the Vultures. And again, like you said, Alex, this kill feed continuing to stay blue. The Vultures now circling this map so close here to putting away. And that is likely what they are going to do. The Scorpions desperately trying to regain and get onto point, but it is not going to
Oh
be
my
enough. That
gosh.
is another map in favor of the Vultures, who are now on match point, Alex.
Yeah, and the Scorpions look so strong, especially on their push, even on the defense. But the Vultures, these rookie DPS players, both Prefix and Zenical, have just been going insane. They've been going crazy. I mean, look at the kill feed. Prefix and Zenical taking it away. Look at that, kill after kill after kill. Of course, we have to give it up for the supports as well. Soup not only healing, but also dealing a ton of damage and getting a ton of these final kills. So great work overall for both of these teams, but the Vultures, sign of life, especially with Prefix and Zenical when they get to play the characters that they want to play. Prefix, of course, looking like the Junkrat master. It's just so difficult to stop that or combat that, especially when we've seen a couple of these Ditto picks where other players try to pick up that Junkrat as well, and it just doesn't work quite as well because Prefix has their number, has it on lock.
Yeah, you said, I mean, Prefixes just look so strong, and again, so oppressive with those nades. Typically, you'll try to counter with some sort of aerial character, Echo, Pharah, right? But I mean, we saw the Bastion come out as well that would be able to contest that. So, pretty smart by the Scorpions not to go down that route. I don't blame them. It's just really hard to try and counter, right? It's a tough position to be in. And I mean, we talk about momentum so often in these Overwatch series, and I mean, if you're a betting person, the momentum is certainly in favor of the Vultures after that King's Row map looked very, very strong here. It's going to be interesting to see how the Scorpions try and gather themselves, push forward here.
I completely agree. Yeah, I think momentum is so important, especially when we're looking at high school and collegiate side of esports here. And yeah, the Vultures, they just have it right now. They have the full momentum. Any sort of energy or optimism that the Scorpions were feeling may have been taken away from them, especially after such a dominant performance that we just saw out of the Vultures. So it will be interesting to see how they reset that mental, and come into map number 4, which, by the way, let's take a look at the map that will be coming up next. And it's going to be push, and it will be a map that we don't get to see too often, and that is Esperanza. What a great push map. It really is very open, which will allow these angles for a character like Junkrat if Prefix wants to pick up that character. But it also has a lot of aerial space as well, so we might see the Echo or the Pharah come out as well. A lot of options, a lot of versatility here. Push is one of those interesting maps or game modes that I think the players are still trying to lock down, figure out who and what they want to run on those strategies. When we look at maps like King's Row, players have had years to perfect the strategies on it, and especially on a map like Esperanza that we haven't seen a lot in the push rotation, or we just hasn't come up a lot. It is still relatively new. Sure, the game's been out for a while and players have had time to settle in and formulate some strategies, but maybe everyone hasn't seen all of the strategies that the map brings. So I'm excited to see how both these teams interact with each other and pull out their strategies to win.
Yeah, no, I mean, the jury was out on push essentially when it came out first, right? The new game mode on the block, right? It was tough, but it's really cemented itself as one of the premier game modes of Overwatch 2 so far. Really tests both teams to the limit in terms of spawn advantage, regaining, coming back onto point. That's what we'll see, especially on this Esperanza map. The spawn or the return from spawn continuously can be so difficult for teams to really overcome. You mentioned the aerial space here, the roof cover that you can get from Pharah, Echo, pharmacies really come out and are strong here. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, I mean, I've been saying it all along how both teams are able to adapt. A lot of versatility, like you mentioned, in terms of compositions, and what we'll be able to see here, Alex.
Absolutely, and I'm so excited, so let's get into this. Game number 4, Scorpions versus the Vultures. This is match point for the Vultures, 2-1 in the series. They just had an amazing King's Row, so can they finish it out on Esperanza, or will the Scorpions strike back and take us to game number 5? We will find out as these players pick some very interesting characters right now. Prefix hovering that Torb.
I love to see it. Prefix has been showing out continuously on these heroes throughout this series. But I mean, Torp is in a really good spot right now, to be honest. I mean, gives you a lot of spam damage with that turret, has a big health pool, very mobile character with that E that they can really just move around with a ton. So I really expect Prefix to really find some value here as they roll out on it with Sweatpants now go onto this Roadhog as well. So we see some difference coming out here from the Vultures. Let's see what they're able to do here, Alex. Both teams now coming to point. The slow turn coming out for both teams as well. I think a really good pick here on Esperanza with the difference in height, especially here on this first map, or this point rather. Both teams now really engaging one another. We get a look onto Prefix here. All this Torp puts that turret out as well. Starts to get aggressive with that shotgun, and there it goes. Press the secrets, and now the damage is going to come out here. The Vultures find the early advantage here. Let's see if the Scorpions are able to regain it in a little bit of a tough spot here. Sweatpants trying to put the pressure on Naiwu. Great hook there. Puts Naiwu out there. The Vultures are going to put the first points on the board, which is tough if you're the Scorpions. If you're the Scorpions after such a rough map there on King's Row, Vultures continuously pushed this, shoved it the entire time. If you're the Scorpions, you want to come out and try to find an early fight win. Just try to be encouraged here. But look at the Vultures pushing forward here. Already halfway to that forward spawn. Hook Sweatpants here. So aggressive. So oppressive, really able to find so much pressure, but there the Scorpions go now, finding two and putting all into the court of the Vultures, and now they are trying to control their destiny, stay alive here, pushing forward and get some points on the board for themselves, Alex.
Yeah, and I really like what the Scorpions were doing, realizing that Roadhog, yes, is a very tanky character, has a very high health pool, also has the ability to heal himself up, but he can't be healing himself if he's hooking someone and trying to finish them off. So the focus down on the Roadhog, realizing what they need to do to stop him. We are going to see Naiwu does replicate that Roadhog and is running in here. Will heal up. It eats a lot of damage. King Swimmer takes out Prefix's turret, and Prefix, though, takes out Naiwu. Just a quick 1-2 onto the replicate, and then onto Naiwu himself. Secret's a beautiful high ground position, but with that Kasune Rush, will have to back off as the Vultures are just moving forward. That ultimate is so good at zoning and also damage. I mean, practically the best ultimate in the game right now. Soup will find secrets, and just like that, the Vultures are back in the driver's seat, and they're moving.
Yeah, the Vultures just look really strong. I mean, what can you say, right? I mean, they're typically getting the first picks here, which is putting the Scorpions on the back foot. I mean, the Scorpions are continuously playing some pretty rough positions, as we see really great ult here by Prefix to, again, just zone off the Scorpions and now secure that forward spawn for themselves here. Scorpions now trying to re-engage. A great railgun pick by Secret on this medical here, trying to get the Scorpions back into it, doing a ton of damage here, doing a great job of rotating around, but Sweatpants continuously finding hooks, finding picks onto the Scorpions, finds Naiwu there, and now here come the Scorpions trying to take control of this robot, push forward here. Sweatpants finds Stitchy Rada there, and now coming around here with the whole hog. Sweatpants in the back line, but putting a lot of getting a lot of damage put onto them here. King Swiffer is able to put away Sweatpants. Both teams trading back and forth here, though. No advantage going to either team just yet. Kind of just ping-ponging the robot around here, trying to really do whatever they can. Both teams trying to find an advantage. Stitcherita is able to find Soup, and now like we see Scorpions push forward. 4 ults in their pocket. Stitcherita is able to find Prefix as well. Again, the support line shining for both teams here. Naiwu's able to put Zenical away, and here come the Scorpions now. Alec trying to do whatever they can to continue to push forward, secure that forward spawn for themselves. Certainly pretty close here. Not in a too compromising of a position here, right? Not out of this game yet. Have showed signs of life, and they're nearly on all 5 ults here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Scorpions have so many ultimates to play with. They have so much to do. Naiwu will replicate, but instantly gets taken out of it in the air. Soup will get credited with that. Still tons of ultimates to play with, and the Scorpions are still pushing forward. Beat comes out from Stitchirada as well, trying to make something happen. Zenical is going to get taken down by Naiwu. Sweatpants in the backline once more, finding the tank, but won't find much more after that, as the rest of the Scorpions are there to back up King Swiffer. And with that, what happened? They left the bot. The bot had gotten walked back almost to the other side of the map. I didn't even realize what had happened there. A good time waste from the Vultures, I suppose.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it happen either. There was a C9 that was going on very, very sneaky. Really well done there by the Vultures. Now they're trying to buy some time at the very least, but the Scorpions looking really strong, and there goes Mango. I mean, just always making plays when it matters. Been a little bit quiet so far, focusing more so on the support line. Hasn't found a ton of heads here, but just goes ahead and gets one now and pushing the Scorpions forward. Doing a really great job just staying aggressive. Sweatpants is able to find secrets with the Scorpion. Amidst it all, are still pushing forward. Benefit was able to find Naiwu as well, and the Scorpions are looking to try and push this lead forward, putting themselves in a really great position. Lead now increasing to about 30 meters or so, and the Vultures now with under 4 minutes are going to try to push this robot back into enemy territory here, into Scorpion territory.
Oh my
Great
goodness, what a hook.
Oh my goodness. And that's going to really allow the Vultures now to try and take advantage early, but the Scorpions doing a good job of absorbing this pressure, right? Allowing them to push forward here, and that's what you can do in this push game mode, right? Some of these picks that are normally death sentences on like control maps really allows, the team to give them some grace here. That's what we'll see here. The window goes down early. 5 Vultures try and give themselves some room. And look at Prefix on this really aggressive. Yeah, this really long flank. We see the Kitsune Rush now come out. Visor goes down as well. Prefix able to find secrets. Oh, and the Orisa ult is huge. Scorpions now doing such a great job, and I mean, we talked about the momentum, and the momentum really seems to have into the side of the Scorpions here, Alex.
Yeah, the Scorpions are really taking control of this map. They've been doing such a good job of holding this pressure. We've seen a lot of plays from the Vultures where they've been wrapping around trying to get these flanks, but when it comes to it, the Scorpions just push forward so aggressively that it doesn't matter if the flank is there, because the rest of the team for the Vultures is already taken out by the time that the flank comes to fruition. And we are going to see Sweatpants does get Naiwu out of that replicate. Again, utility being used right now, not so much trades on the kills, but regardless, any time wasted is just a benefit for the Scorpions at this point. They have the lead, and they're just working on keeping it. We are going to see a pick come out. Naiwu gets taken down. Window is here, and we do see King Swiffer just trying to stay alive a little bit longer. Sweatpants playing around this corner with the Immortality Field. I have no idea how King Swiffer is still alive. Sweatpants gets the hook, isn't able to find the kill until now, and Secrets and Mango both fall down. King Swiffer is next in line, and with that, Stitchy will get taken down very shortly, or maybe not. Will just stay alive is Elucio, so very elusive. Naiwu finds Prefix, and the trade's just back and forth, but at the end of the day, yes, the Vultures have control of the robot, but until they're able to push past this next choke point, the Scorpions are completely in the lead right now.
Yeah, no, if you're the Scorpions, you're still comfortable right now, but, I mean, we've seen so far the Vultures, their versatility and their resilience, they've looked so strong, right? And I mean, certainly now in control of the robot, we're getting close to the 1 minute mark. We're in last fight territory here based off of how long this fight lasts. And I mean, both teams with very powerful coming online in their pockets. Likely to see Overclock go on here very soon. Let's see if Tentacle is able to change the tide of this series right now and try to put it away here for the Vultures. Scorpions going forward off that Kitsune Rush, and Sweatpants is going to fall, and this is going to be big now. I mean, if you're the Vultures, you're in a really rough territory now. Trying to push forward. I mean, we see the Scorpions now taking control of this robot, continuing to push it forward here and just putting away Vultures one by one. Scorpions 30 seconds on the clock here. They've got the Vultures in a really tough spot. I mean, we saw Zenical pop that overclock. Wasn't really able to find any Prefix now. Coming on the Visor here, 20 seconds left. Vultures are really trying to feel it out. They'll have one more opportunity to touch, but it's going to be a rush attack. Their positioning is going to struggle just a little bit as we see Sweatpants now engage from on the point here. We see the beat come out by Stitchy Rada, which is really going to nullify any ult so far. Secrets is able to find C-Square with overclock, and Sweatpants now pops the whole hog into the back of the Kitsune Rush that comes out by C-Squared as well, and now the Vultures are in a position where they're taking the robot into overtime. They have 15 meters to go here, Alex, but they are likely, with how this push mode is set up, with how the Esperanza map is, they might have a map where they even get the robot back to the barrier to push it forward here. Let's see what the Scorpions are able to do. C9 isn't able to find anything with that replicated stuff all match. The Vultures have been countering it really well. The windows go down. Nice Soup here to try and find the Scorpions early, and Scorpions stable again to do it, but they trade here. Identical goes down as well here. Neither team really on any ult, but Scorpions clicking up Mango. Close. Mango goes down, which is going to be rough for Scorpions. Kitsune Rush was online there essentially. Now,
oh my
the
goodness,
Vultures are kind of pushing it forward. This is going to come down to the wire here, Alex. This is going to be essentially a buzzer-beating situation. Stitcher goes down late into this fight as well, and we will see Sweatpants go forward here with the whole hog in their pocket. The Kitsune Rush comes down here very early by Mango just to try and push the whole hog. Look at Sweatpants. The whole hog pushes Sweatpants back, but here come the Scorpions. Oh my Sweatpants. Big Swiffer down. Mango down as well. And the Vultures, they are circling. They are trying to put it away right now. Soup goes down as well. Soup finds Secrets, and that is going to be it.
Oh my.
Against all odds, an overtime match point puts the series away, Alex. What a series, man. What a fight by both teams. Incredible regain by the Vultures in overtime. Push that robot over 15 meters to secure the win. Scorpions go down, but not after a valiant effort. Great game. Very fun to watch, Alex.
Wow. I mean, I'm flabbergasted in a way. That was such an incredible match. And Scorpions looked like they were entirely in the lead. They had control of the map the whole time. They were pushing forward. Yes, we saw a little bit of a ping pong match in the middle there where we were just going back and forth. But that whole time, the Scorpions had the lead. Like you said, it was 40 meters. They had a sizable lead going into that final fight, but the Vultures able to be persistent, able to hold out, able to just keep walking that robot down, sticking with it all the way through overtime, winning out on those very crucial fights, and like you said, getting those very crucial picks. Mango getting taken down when she had that Kitsune Rush was so important for the Vultures to get that pick, and then later we saw that Mango had to use that Kitsune Rush just to get back to the point in time to stop it, and therefore getting rid of a lot of the utility of that ultimate. Just great playmaking, great target focus from the Vultures. But overall, what an incredible series from both the Vultures and the Scorpions. Both these teams looking incredible, and I cannot wait to see more of them as we get deeper into this season.
It was really great to see. I mean, the Vultures there, hats off to them in those clutch moments. They identified the win condition and they executed it perfectly. The Scorpions were certainly no slouches themselves, put up a great fight that entire time. That series was really on a razor's edge the entire time. And I mean, especially going to Esperanza, right? It was very, very close. They had the opportunity to turn this thing around. They should be holding their heads high. And
Absolutely.
like you said, Alex, I will certainly be looking forward to seeing how both these teams, how both these players continue forward here in the series.
Yeah, I cannot wait. There's so much great things. And if you like what you're seeing from Esports Tower, want to see more of what they do, because they do more than just Overwatch, or you want to stay up to date with all of the Overwatch action, make sure to follow Esports Tower on their socials. That is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Basically, if you look up Esports Tower, you will find everything that they have. And of course, if you want to see more of myself, more of Kyler, make sure to follow Shenandoah Esports Esports. That's at Shenyu Esports. That will be our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and then everywhere else that is at Shenandoah Esports, things like YouTube, Twitch. Make sure to follow us there. We've got plenty of great content, not just Esports Tower stuff, a lot of Overwatch, a lot of other games as well. You will not be disappointed by following both Esports Tower and Shenandoah. Before we take a quick break, we are going to talk about something that I know you've all been hearing and you want to hear more about, and that, of course, is the Gauntlet Games. We have got a DMV local LAN area tournament. The Gauntlet Games are coming to Shenandoah University Saturday, February 11th. It's going to be a great fun, and TikTok is giving great prizes. Winners compete for up to $500 in cash and bragging rights to be on the Rumble. Yeah, the winning team is invited to compete on the worldwide Rumble stage. If you live in Virginia, Maryland, or the greater DC metro area, sign up for the February Gauntlet Games at esportstower.com/GG. There's going to be free food, free swag, free training from Esports Tower. You're not going to want to miss out. It is going to be incredible. So if you're in the area, make sure to sign up and come out. It's going to be awesome.
What's there not to love? LAN events, free. It's me. Get out there, try to win a prize. It's going to be huge.
Absolutely. Money, free things. Like you said, free is me. Show up. It's going to be awesome. LAN events are coming back, and they're coming back in full force. And man, I'm so excited. I love the LAN environment, the LAN experience. Everything is awesome. We are going to be taking a short break. When we come back, we are going to have the coaches versus players show match. You're not going to want to miss that. Can the players take down their coaches, or will wisdom and old age allow the coaches to win out? We will see when we return. We'll be back soon.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We, of course, are broadcasting from the Esports Arena here at Shenandoah University in beautiful Winchester, Virginia. I, of course, am your host, Alexander T. Kresek, and joining me to call the action is Kyler. And if you missed out on the first half of the broadcast, wow, you missed out on a doozy. We saw the Scorpions take on the Vultures in an incredible best-of-5 series. I highly recommend to go back and watch that. What an incredible matchup we saw, Kyler. It was awesome.
It was great, man. Yeah, both teams performed very, very well. Super exciting to see. Again, like we said, it's going to be exciting to see them come back and return and how they'll be able to perform in the future. But I'm really excited what we got up here next, Alex.
Yes, next up in just a couple of minutes, we are going to have the players versus coaches show match. We're going to have the Barracudas take on the coaches, the Owls for wisdom, I'm sure. We're going to have a couple of best-of-3 series happening here, just some fun show matches to show off the skill of both the players as well as their coaches. I am really excited to see what's going to happen with this series. Will the players win out, or will the coaches be able to take home the victory? But of course, before we get too deep into that action, talk about a little bit of speculation, we of course have got to take a second to shout out the Esports Overwatch scholarships. Of course, we want to take a moment to congratulate all of the Esports Tower club members who've graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower club members have received over $3.9 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. The players on this list are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities that these players are getting. I mean, the numbers are incredible. I love seeing students and players get these opportunities, get these scholarships to be able to allow themselves to continue academically, as well as just allow them to keep doing what they love, whether that's in-game with, Overwatch or the other Esports Tower games, or as well as their hobbies and interests outside of the game as well with music, academics, and such. So, of course, huge shout out to them and a huge shout out to Esports Tower as well. Just all around awesome.
It's so fortunate, we're so fortunate to be a part of this. Alex, is awesome to see. Again, like you said, whether or not these kids pursue this as a collegiate opportunity and go into esports clubs, the fact that it even just gives them an opportunity to do this right now, and grow some camaraderie, really work on some skills like teamwork, communication is incredible to see. And again, I've talked about it continuously throughout this esports tower rumble, but this pipeline that we've seen be built in the past couple of years from scholastic to collegiate, only been strengthened. And again, it's been such an awesome part to be of. Shout out to Esports Tower and all the collegiate space and scholastic players and their progress and what we've seen.
Yeah, huge shout out to them. But without further ado, let's get into this players versus coaches matchup. Like I said, it's going to be the Barracudas versus the Owls. Let's take a look at the maps that we have lined up here. Map number 1 will be Control, and it will be Lijiang Tower, the classic. We talked about this before at the start of the broadcast, where Lijiang is just a great way to show off your skill, show off your brawl, just a great way to, it's a good map and a great way to show off the characters that you're really competent and really strong with. I think it'll be really interesting. We've seen the Barracudas before. I don't know if we've seen these coaches play before, so I'm excited to see what their play style looks like, what sort of compositions they're going to bring in, especially if it's a situation where I've taught you everything I know, and now I'm going to teach you a little bit extra as well from that coaching side. So I cannot wait. Kyler, do you have anything to add on here?
We'll just see if they're able to keep up in their advanced age, Alex, right? We'll see what's going to happen here. It's going to be tough to see, right? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to expect to see them to run, but it's going to be exciting. Barracudas are a very formidable opponent for them, to say at least.
Yes, indeed. The Barracudas have done very well in the Rumble series, but it looks like we're just about ready to hop in, so let's get into Lijiang Tower. Map number 1, round 1 here. It will be on the tower portion of Lijiang Tower. This is a great map for characters like Junk. We've seen a lot of different characters here, and now Owls versus the Barracudas starting things off with that Doom.
Yeah, Doomfist very, very strong, solid pick right now. I mean, you've seen so many mobility buffs for him. A lot of value here in the chaos to be able to create, but he's gonna have his head up on SBC. The coaches come out firing here. Kirsten bashing just so well to find that Junk, and that's gonna open up a ton of space here, and that's really gonna allow LW here on the Doom to really just jump forward, and there they go. Coach is really showing their strength.
God,
and popping off. Oh my goodness, looks so strong. And you have to find me. I'm going to Hush because my girlfriend's in class once again. So I'll be trying my best here, try to call these plays out. And the coach is doing such a great job. And now it's occupying the space here that you mentioned here on this Lijiang Tower map. We're able to really push forward and control this choke. Look at this Doom play just pushing forward. It looks like the players are having their work cut out from the Owls.
They do indeed. I mean, especially when we have the Owls, the coaches, they are just pushing forward. They're making it so difficult even to get through the door. I mean, the aggression coming out from these coaches. We are going to see Glory get a little bit of space, start moving forward. They will find a sleeping Doom. Al gets taken down, but Kirsten on this Bastion finds another one. That's a support on the side of the Barracudas taken down. They're just going to keep backing up, though. We will see the Bastion ultimate come out, just dropping it onto this Orisa. The damage from the Bastion is so much, it's too much. The sleep comes through. What a fantastic thing. King Swiffer will find a pick, but the res comes back immediately after that. And this Bastion on the Owls is going insane.
Dude, the Owls just do such a great job, even when it looks lost for them. I mean, Kirsten has just been showing out on this Bastion so far, just looking so strong. And the Barracudas are having a very, very tough time trying to keep up here. We see LW again on the Doom, back jumping into the back line. We see again Kirsten in the kill feed. What else is new? And now we see Dune Rush come out here. It's the coaches here. Look at the discipline and holding on to their ults one at a time. They don't even need to combo any. Just pushing forward so well. Apollo gets down to 1 health and survives. Nonetheless, we see great spot for the Doom to try really contest and try to keep up. But that is a swift 100 0 in favor of the coaches, and I mean, they look real strong so far, Alex.
Oh my goodness, that was so fast. I mean, yeah, like you said, even when the Owls were being pushed back, they were still capturing the point, and they didn't let the Barracudas get too far ahead. They were able to tactically retreat and then turn on the Barracudas when they were pushing or maybe overextending a little bit. And wow, I mean, the coaches have surprised me a little bit. I am not expecting them to come out swinging like they have right now. But of course, it's still map 1. It's still a little bit of a warm-up period, still feeling each other out. We will see if anything changes as we get into round 2 of Lijiang. We are going to see the sim come out as we're going to have a little bit of a dropship here on the point. Just trying to, again, oh
my goodness.
What a great Doom. That's going to find 2 with the punch.
Another. Oh my god.
Everyone.
The absolute wisdom of the Owls is shining through here. I believe they just look so good right now. They are all over the Barracudas, have their number in every aspect. The point flips to the Owls first. They're going to control here. LW coming through, punches 3 Barracudas off the map to start off, and that is setting the tone here. They are ready to take this map away from the Barracudas now.
They are ready indeed. I mean, it forces Glory immediately to switch off the Doomfist onto the Zarya. They've decided that they needed something a little bit different. Maybe the bubbles will help them out. We will have to see. You have to be so careful. This Doom has so much mobility, and the Zarya charge, I was about to say, is pretty low, but just ate a ton of charge, now up to 70%, so we'll be racking up that damage. Still not able to get out of this corner. And look at these trades. The Owls just coming out on top.
I mean, the Owls were pumping damage into that choke. Just so impressive. Daring the Barracudas to peak. Look at Kirsten has just been such a standout performer so far for the coaches. I mean, it's just an absolute beast. It's been dominating the Barracudas, now swapping over onto the Sojourn. I mean, the Owls have been playing uncontested so far and are already at 60% here. 3 ults online. I don't even know if they'll need them out.
They may not. I mean, they have 3 ultimates, almost 4 ultimates here.
Oh my god.
When they decide to use them, the Barracudas are just going to need to fall back. Kirsten, again, going to find another one on a King Swiffer, just trying to get through. The Barracudas are just trying to live outside of spawn, and anytime that they walk out into the Zen Garden, they are just getting blown up.
Hey, if you were worried about the quality of coaches from Esports Tower, I want you to record this match, by the way, because this Barracudas team. I mean, we saw a lot of these players, right? We saw King Swiffer, we saw Mango, we've seen Glory in the past, right? We saw Zenical last game. These are not some rough players.
Yeah.
But look at this coach. You see the Kitsune Rush come out here as well as the Overclock. The Valk just flex on them, I guess, a little bit. And that is maybe a world record. Sean Tower, Alex. What a first round.
Oh my gosh. It was so fast. Yeah, like you said, if you're worried about the quality of the coaches from Esports Tower, worry not, no longer. They are here to play, and they came out swinging. Oh my goodness. The Barracudas just they didn't have an answer for the Owls here. Just the Owls looking so dominant from start to finish. We saw a little bit of signs of life from the Barracudas, able to find some picks, but just not really able to fully capitalize on the picks that they were able to get. And I mean, man, when we see the Owls get a pick, they were able to almost team wipe every single time. Just great awareness, great tempo management, great job just jumping on opportunities when they see them. Man, this seems pretty tough. I'm not sure how the Barracudas are going to fight back from this. So much has been going their way. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
You nor I, man. I mean, just the discipline of the coaches, right? Just how well they've gelled together and how they are working. I mean, it just shows their quality, truly. I mean, they've just been playing. They've never felt like they've been on the back foot at any point. Even when they very rarely lost the first character in the fight, they still felt like they were completely in control. And they've thrown me off. I was coming in here with an analogy ready to be like, Bill Belichick's beautiful football mind, but you would have put him on the field, right? Like you wouldn't be able to do it. That's gone out the window, dog. It's just unbelievable. The Owls have really, I mean, they look like a force right now.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. Before the break, I said, oh, will old age and wisdom allow the coaches to take the game, because I kind of went into that with a similar mindset where these players are incredibly talented. They're so good at the game. Yeah. The coaches, I'm sure, are great at teaching them, but, I wasn't expecting them to be so good at playing as well. Just what a standout performance from the Owls. Maybe map 2, the Barracudas can really find their footing and catch the Owls off guard. Speaking of which, let's take a look at what map number 2 will be. And up here, it's going to be Escort on Rialto, one of the other maps that I was talking about earlier that had been taken out of the competitive rotation, and now it is back in. So Rialto, another fun Escort map. Really a map that'll be really interesting, specifically for that first hold, that first choke point. We have a lot of high ground for both the attacking and the defending side of things, so it gets a little bit difficult for both teams to really move in to the position that they want to. Of course, there's a lot of water, a lot of great boops as well, and if we're going to see Doomfist again, I mean, we saw 4 environmental kills off of that first interaction on the second round of Lijiang. We may just see more at this point.
You're completely correct, man. Yeah, it is a tall task for offensive teams on Rialto. Like you said, it really feels like you're pushing into a bowl there, essentially. And so you'll see really strong offensive teams here take that high ground early, really be aggressive to try and jump up there and displace the defensive team and make them uncomfortable. But if we've seen anything from the Owls so far, they are at the very least. So very tall task again for the Barracudas. We'll see how they do here.
Yeah, it looks like the team's all ready, so let's get into game number 2. We have Escort Rialto, Barracudas versus the Owls, players versus the coaches. Will the players find their footing here, or will the coaches just sweep this first best-of-3 series? We'll have to see it coming up here. Interestingly enough, we are going to see a bit of a swap here. Owl who was on the tank for the Owls is actually on that Lucio now, and Ophelia, who was playing that Mercy last round, will be on the Orisa. So a little bit of a swap here on the side of the coaches, just flexing that they can play multiple roles and are confident in it, apparently. But we'll have to see how the Barracudas respond here, as they have a little bit of a swap up as well for their players, as King Swiffer will be playing that support role, and Yaus will be on the Widowmaker.
Wow, and I mean, here go the Owls already. Aramori finds Cynical here, and I mean, puts the Bear on the back once more. Oh, Al's looking for it, and it's so close to booping off. Turbo there to really again set these environmental kills, and he's not going anywhere just yet. He's around trying to put the pressure on the side, really playing as this aggressive Lucio. Gets low, is even still able to get out. The Barracudas now are still push forward here, trying to make something happen. Mango does find a headshot there onto Kirsten, and that's really able to Barracudas at least supports a little bit of a sigh of relief. Again, like you said, the Owls continuously found the answer. They have not felt uncomfortable this entire time, and even though the Barracudas were able to get that big hit onto Kirsten, the Owls were just still able to keep the pressure on them, keep them in spawn, and that's what I've just been so impressed by the Owls so far. This is what you see from really top teams typically, is that they punish you from sitting in sight lines. Every time you go into a sight line, you are not doing it under necessary damage every time, and that's what they're doing so well, and that's what's enabling them to do so much damage here. And here comes Barracudas trying to get something going. See Mango get a couple picks here. That Kiriko roll so far, great to continue without damage. Her headshots are really going to give the Barracudas to go 40. Turbo is able to find Apollo. Oh, the Barracudas are starting to get some picks under their book. Maybe it's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable getting swing up the game. Yeah, there goes the Kitsune Rush.
Kitsune Rush.
The Owls puts it out, and that would be a scary sight here. If you are the Barracudas, and very, very quickly the Owls are back there.
Yeah, and it was a good push from the Barracudas. They were making space. They were playing off the picks that they got. But, I mean, as soon as they turned that corner, the Owls were ready. They were willing to drop those ultimates. We saw the Kitsune Rush popped. We saw the Orisa ultimate as well. And it was all they needed in order to win out that fight. Now, on the side of Barracudas, they have 3 ultimates to their name. They are going to have that Kitsune Rush, which, of course, is a huge ultimate that they can really use to take it. They are going to find one onto the Kiriko. This may be exactly what they need. Kitsune Rush gets popped as well. Ophelia will, actually Turbo will get taken down. Ophelia not credited with it, but Ophelia will get King Swiffer, and they're just looking for more here. The Kitsune Rush was popped for the Barracudas, but Owls get all the kills.
Ophelia, or Mango was doing everything they could to keep Turbo alive in that instance. Literally everything that they could. But the damage of the Owls is just overwhelming. Dude, look, they can't come out of spawn without getting to like quarter health every time. As the Barracudas, I don't even know what the advice for you at this point. I mean, this is just a huge, unbelievable shield right now by the Owls. Again, seemingly have all the answers. Turbo does a good job to follow there early. We've seen the Seismic Slant come down here. The fact to find anybody, Ophelia does find alternatively now, and that's a couple of picks here again for the Owls that come out. And again, the Barracudas are getting the first pick. They are getting punished for it. I am in awe right now. 20 seconds now on the clock for the Barracudas. And they just do not have the answer.
There are no answers for the Owls right now. And look how close up, how aggressive the Owls are playing. They want to really put a stamp here for the end of this round. We're running out of time. 3 seconds remaining. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch. Oh, someone will be able to touch, but not for long as they get pushed around. Kitsune Rush gets popped as well. 3 members go down for the Barracudas, a 4th one as well, and that will be overtime done. Wow. Barracudas, they push the cart, but not very far. The Owls just need to get a good push, and they'll be able to take Rialto here.
Yeah, the Owls need to win a singular fight here, which if you're a betting person, I would not bet against them winning one fight. They have just continuously had all the answers. I mean, the Barracudas there, they were even still able to do a good job again. They were able to get a first pick, but the Owls didn't let anything go unpunished. Again, that's really just been the story of this series so far, of this match, is that the Barracudas, no matter what they do, they're being contested. And again, that's the hallmark of a really, really great team. They don't let you breathe. They're always getting off actions. They're always getting off damage. They're doing something. They're always busy. And that's what you see with the Owls. There's never a dull moment with any of them. They were always staying busy. And they've looked great so far. And again, Barracudas got a real tall task ahead of them. They're trying to contain this team.
Yeah, I mean, the Barracudas really trying to find something, that they can answer back with. So we are going to see Turbo on the Ramatra, King Swiffer on the Moira. I mean, just different picks that might be able to catch the Owls off guard, especially with this Ramatra, who likes to play up close, does a lot of damage, and also doesn't have any weapon drop-off on this ranged attack that he has. So very interesting tank, and probably really good for this high ground here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're trying to do what they can here, and I mean, we're going to see the win dive in here. Ophelia very strong on that tank as of so far, but the Barracudas doing well so far. They're really trying to weather the storm, staying to their west, and really trying to weather down the damage. But I mean, look, as I say that, look at the damage that was Zedical down to essentially 1 health. The entire Barracudas team is Apollo's able to find Zedical here, and they are 1.81 meters away from this thing being done, and that is going to be it. Very.
Oh my god!
Blink and you miss him. Good Lord.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, for real, you blink and you miss it. The Owls, such a dominant force here. Wow. That is incredible. Holy cow. I mean, I don't even know what to say here, right? That was so fast.
Yeah.
The Barracudas really trying their best, switching up their strategy, holding that high ground, doing such a great job. But the Owls just opening them up, dealing so much damage. And Apollo coming in with that beautiful 3K to just allow the Owls to run through Rialto there.
It's just one of those ones where you have to just throw your hands up and just skill diff, right? I mean, it's just nothing that you can do. You don't have an answer, right? Like, they just continuously, the Owls just put the pressure on, man. That's really the best way that I can say it. Because, I mean, like you said, what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't much to say. Coming up, we are going to have the players have another shot to run it back with the coaches. We might see a couple other players swap out, take their hand at trying to take down these coaches, which have become titans, gods almost at this point. So we're going to take a quick commercial break as they reset. But when we come back, players versus coaches, one more. Can anyone stop the coaches who are looking incredible right now? We will see after this.
You want to rank up in Overwatch or Valorant? Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. We'll match you with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
And welcome back to this week's broadcast of Esports Tower Rumble for Overwatch. Wow, we just watched an incredible players versus coaches matchup where the coaches dominated. They looked incredible. They were unstoppable. I, of course, am Alexander T. Kresek, joined by Kyler. And Kyler, before we get into this next thing, anything that you're looking forward to for this next matchup here?
I'm looking for the players to win a single fight. That's what I'm looking for, because I mean that would be a win in my book, to be honest. The coaches just unstoppable. I don't know if there's a better word. I mean, just overwhelming force, man. They looked incredible.
Yeah, and you said earlier, if anyone was questioning or putting in doubt the Esports Towers coaches, you can question them no longer. They are beasts at this game. And of course, if you want to see more of Esports Tower, more of what they're doing, maybe even get in contact with a coach yourself, make sure to follow them on their socials. That's at Esports Tower for Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, basically anywhere. If you type in Esports Tower, you will find them. And then of course, if you want to see more of myself, more of Kyler, make sure to follow us at Shenandoah University, which is at ShenU for TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and then at Shenandoah Esports for practically everything else as well, YouTube, Twitch, things like that. Here we go. Round number 2. The players get a chance to run it back with the coaches. Map number 1. Let's take a quick look at the map pool here. It will be push for Colossio, but like you said, I mean, the dominance of the coaches for just round 1, that first best of 3, was unquestionable. The players they looked lost at that point. They could not do anything against the coaches, and the coaches had everything on lock. I mean, what do they do? How do they switch it up for Colossio? I have no idea.
I would be amiss to tell you that I know what the players were doing wrong. They were really kind of staying as a core well. I think that would be like my one piece of advice is when a fight is lost, disengage, get out. You can only take these fights 5v5, right? That's the only way to do it. Try to avoid damage as much as possible early on. Much easier said than done.
Yep.
Completely recognize that. All right. But that's, I think that's exactly what you're going to have to do here. Really try to count on your DPS players to try and get some early picks and just weather the storm, man. That's all you can do.
Yes, you have to weather the storm. Well, we're about to see whether or not these players can weather the storm of the coaches as we get into game number 1 on Colossio. The Barracudas, the players versus the Owls, the coaches. I mean, in the past, right, the Owls have been looking incredible. We're going to see Owl on the Owls on that Doomfist once more. Just so much. Like I said before the break, we are going to see a little bit of a switch up for the Barracudas. We now have the introduction of Triplet and Alakath, as well as Toxikill and one more player. I mean, just great players. Alakath in particular, one of these star-studded DPS players who has just been amazing in the past.
Yeah.
Will it be enough to take down the Owls, though? These coaches are just scary at this point.
You're completely correct. And I mean, Triplet as well in their own right, a top 500 players, really been a standout performer here in all of the Esports Towers so far. And I mean, already we see the Barracudas come out and change already. They get the first pick here, but as always, the Owls do not let it go unpunished and find the pick in reserve here. The Barracudas doing everything they can to try to weather the storm for Ophelia on the Moira. Pushing forward already. Triplet getting the Barracudas on the move, though, 7 meters early. And I mean, that's a little bit more than we can say from what we saw last time, right? They're putting a fight up here. Yag finds Ophelia leading the fight, and the Barracudas are able to get some picks. We're seeing Triplet as well, finds Apollo, trying to keep the Barracudas in it. And I mean, it's going to be a huge resource here for the Owls again. One of the standout performers in, again, all of this Rumble that we've seen so far, just so strong from the support line. It's looked so good the entire time. And Alex, so far, I mean, I don't want to get crazy. So far, so good, right? It looks pretty good. The Owls now wrapping around. That first pick on the Yag. Barracuda still hanging in there, trying to make something happen here. in Gababy. Go forward here, trying to go crazy. Find the pick as well. All right, and we're starting to do a little something, but there goes the Owls right on time, right as we're starting to try to get to the flow of things. They are doing the same, and they are putting the pressure on. Triple doing everything he can to stay alive. Great movement there. The back line just trying to be a little bit of a menace here, but the Owls, they're on 4 ults, close to 5 ults economy in their favor as of so far, and anything we've seen when they get those online, Alex, it's going to be a rough task.
It is indeed. I mean, the coaches, the Owls, just do such a great job of using Ultimate. Doomfist Ultimate will be popped along with the Kasune Rush. Owl going to find one on the Alakath, and already the Barracudas are coming into this fight at a disadvantage. We are going to see Triplet pop that feat. Yag's doing a great job of just avoiding trying to get a little bit of that stop juke action, but will finally get taken down by Kirsten. Triplet trying to stay alive. Will eat a little bit of damage, but look at this movement from Triplet. Yeah, one of the best support players in the Esports Tower Rumble, really showing off their skill, staying alive, getting around the map, helping out the team, and doing damage. Kirsten will get taken down by Alakath. This is an opportunity for the players. Gababy is moving the point right now. Will spot out some members of the Owls, and now trying to do some damage, but that Reaper will get eaten by the Dragon. Apollo falls. Toxikill finds Ophelia. The players, there's an opportunity here.
Opportunity to take the lead, get 2 picks early. We see the Kasune Rush go down as well. Some very well-timed Dragons to find Apollo here, who is swapped over to the Reaper to try and counter the Winston Baby. But I mean, the players so far, I mean, yeah, they're putting pressure on, right? They're not rolling over here. They're looking pretty good as of so far. We see the Primal Rage is on lockdown for Gababy. The match for the popped here. Alakath's able to find W here as well without any tank. The Owls are going to be in a pretty rough position here. Gababy doing well to hold on to this Primal Rage as we see Triplet really taking the fight to Kirsten here. I don't know what the deal is there, but Triplet looks like he's really got it out, man. He's the boop comes out by Triplet as well. Ophelia and Triplet really the lead team here on, continuing to find pressure, finding ways to make the life of the coaches tough. And don't look now, Alex. The Barracudas are in this thing, man.
They are indeed, and we are going to see Gababy pop that Primal Rage. We did see the switch of Owl off of that Doomfist onto the Junker Queen. Really one of the only maps that we really get to see a lot of Junker Queen played is Colosio here. Ultimate's getting popped. Kasune Rush also was popped as well. Ophelia will be credited for the kill onto the tank of the Barracudas. And wow, yeah, the Barracudas have made some space for themselves. The Owls now coming back. There is a little bit of time, a little bit of space, and some players from the Barracudas who are still alive, so a little bit of a stagger as well. But in some regards, that might be good as it is splitting up the Owls' attention right now. And we are going to see a switch off of Gababy, switching to that Diva from the Winston, realizing that maybe a little bit more mobility, a little bit more defense matrix might be helpful for this fight. But we'll just have to see, as Alakath, looking very low, does get taken down. Kirsten going to find Yags as well. That's both DPS players for the Barracudas falling. Ophelia pushing forward. Will D-mech Gababy with the help of Apollo. And just like that, the Barracudas disappear. You thought they were in the lead, but not for long. The Owls, they're back in control.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I'm just in awe every time we switch over to one of the cams. The coaches, man, it's just so fun to watch them play. Whenever they're in the midst of these fights, I was going to say that they're always busy, but then we switch to Kirsten. Stared at the wall.
It was perfect timing.
It really couldn't have been better. Come out here by Toxikill from Barracudas. Oh, but OW gets into the back line and hits almost the entire team. And the Owls now are really cruising out. It seems like they've found their flow. They've gotten into the thick of it here now, and they look good.
Oh man, yeah,
they have been uncontested.
Yeah, uncontested. That's a great word for it. The coaches really have found their flow, found their movement. Good job for that Kiriko player to just teleport out, staying alive, making it so difficult. The Barracudas can't even find that opening pick that they need. The ultimates are still in favor of the Owls, and Kasune Rush gets popped as well. This Barracuda, the Reaper is just running in, dealing damage to the Barracudas. 2 members fall, and the Owls are hunting for more.
Wow, man. I mean, just following up on the Kitsune rush perfectly. You mentioned it earlier, the strength of that ult, really one of the best ults in the game right now. And I mean, when you put it in the hands of a team like this, look at that. I mean, just everything that they do, they can't be stopped, man. I mean, the Barracudas put such a valiant effort early in this game, but the wisdom of the Owls, it shines through once more, Alex. And they put that Colosseum map away quickly.
They did. I mean, I love that, you going into this, we're like, I hope the players just win a team fight. They're able to win out and make something for themselves. And I really think the Barracudas have shown up here. They were making it competitive, especially in the beginning there. They were winning those team fights. They were getting the picks that they needed to. But once we saw the swap, once we saw the Doom to the Junker Queen, we saw the Owls stick together a lot more, really fight as a team. It was all over from then. They just had one good push, and they didn't lose any of the fights after that, and they were able to push the point to completion. Oh my goodness. The Owls are a scary team indeed. Very formidable.
I know that if I was a player right now, I would certainly be pretty terrified at the moment. But I say that to say, like you said, the Barracudas looked really strong early on there. And I think they do, if you look at that game from their fight, certainly at the end, they were getting rolled pretty hard, right? We saw people really get under the Owls. They looked really strong there. But the Barracudas do have a light at the end of the tunnel, right? They did have some bright spots in that game. They did find a lot of fights where they were winning pretty overwhelmingly as well. So
Yep.
there's opportunity here. They're not out of this just yet. I'm excited to see if they can bounce back here in the next round.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And we talk a lot about mentality and just momentum going into this. This is a great opportunity for the Barracudas to really fight back against that mentality, fight back against that momentum, and try to take a game away from the Owls. I mean, yes, the Owls are looking crazy, and they had a lot of momentum at the end of that map, but the Barracudas have to look at the good parts of the map that they were doing really well with too, and that's really that beginning and that push, kind of the beginning middle half of that, where they were really making a name for themselves, really pushing back against the Owls and getting the picks and the space that they needed to. So I'm excited as we look into map number 2. Let's take a look at and see what map number 2 will be. It will be a King's Row, of course. It has to come back to this. Ooh. King's Row. We've talked about it before. I feel like we don't need to harp on it too much, but creativity and time that this map has been around, right? Push relatively new. I mean, King's Row has been around since Overwatch 1. It's one of those fan favorites. I have to imagine that the coaches have got some sort of strategy, some sort of idea going into this, and I cannot wait to see what it's going to be.
I assume that they know this map like the back of their hand, and that they will, like you said, have something in store to really, be effective here. So we'll see how it goes. You talked about momentum. Momentum certainly under that of the Owls right now. So see what the Barracudas can do. Win a fight early. Try to get this card pushed.
Yeah, and that's exactly all you can do. All you can think about and focus on is forget last map. Focus on this map. All we need is to win a fight, get the cart, push it forward, and we'll win. So we'll have to see if the Barracudas can indeed take a game off of the Owls as we get into map number 2, King's Row. This potentially could be the final of our show matches here. The best of 3 may come to a conclusion early if the Owls are able to sweep the Barracudas once more. Or will the Barracudas give us a run for our money and take us all the way to game number 3? We'll find out as it's decided on King's Row.
So as we kind of reflect on that Colosseum map, I think where we saw the Barracudas start to shine was in the straight up 5v5s. Right? They're able to get an early pick, right? That's where we really saw them shine. It wasn't until later in the game the Owls were able to get that momentum under them. We've spoken about momentum, all night, all through this Esports Tower series, right? What the momentum looks like when you're a team that's good at the Owls, right? is you're able to keep the other team off balance essentially the entire time, right? You're pushing them back. You're able to really just mess with the map spawn, right? They kind of control the map. You look at Alacat starting off so strong already. I mean, and again, one of the standout hits in their performers. We're used to them doing this on Widow, and they're continuing it as we see here in the game. But as I say that, I mean, Owls, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I mean,
And this is.
Yeah, no, as soon as you start talking about Alacath and the Barracudas finding that opening pick, the Owls just strike back, and regardless of how good Alacath's aim is or how good Alacath is on the Widow, the Barracudas just fall apart when the rest of the Owls move in following this Reinhardt and just get big picks, big money, and the Barracudas are forced to go back and reset, maybe try out some new characters, try to figure something out.
The Owls have like a really counter punch style of play, right? Like, I mean, as the Barracudas start them off, punch them in the mouth, they get Ophelia out of here first. The Owls don't panic, and now look at that. They look all but their Barracudas. Alacat is with Mike Pearson, and this has got to be their opportunity, right? Oh, Alacat finds another one as well. Here they go. The Owls are now on the back foot. The Barracudas have an opportunity to cap here, but the Owls, they're not giving this point up. They're going to touch this thing again here, Alex. They're going to try. And we see Armory has this Kitsune rush. And they're able to get on the point. They don't time it right. The Barracudas are able to get this first point, and they got to be feeling good about themselves right now. But the same, the Owls are not going to be uncomfortable here. It is still going to be tough to push this part super far, particularly from where they've got it right now. A pretty textbook spawn trap area.
Yeah, I was just about to say, look at this. The Owls are covering all of the bases. They're covering all of the openings, all the exits from spawn. This is indeed a textbook spawn trap right now. Yes, the Owls were not able to get there in time to stop this push, but they are certainly going to punish the Barracudas just for existing. I mean, really focusing on them, but we are going to see a couple of trades happening here, and some of them are coming in favor of the Barracudas. This may be the opportunity once more, especially to get out of this spawn trap situation and pass this really difficult choke point here under Arch.
Yeah, Barracudas are able to push the point. Triple sitting on it, are able to get it to the Arch at the very least. Buy some space for the Barracudas here. Triplet job here on that Moira, just staying alive, pushing forward, and now look at the Barracudas again, making some space, pushing the Owls back here. Getting some meterage, doing very, very well here. Got their belt here as well. We saw the Coalescence come out here. Rally coming out back here to counter the Owls as well, just pushing right in. Baby, I'm certain, is looking for an opportunity to try and pop that high noon, do something. Gags gets the shatter off in front of Ophelia. So that's going to be great for Barracudas. Let's see if they can get this opportunity. They do to kill 500 as well. Apollo looking for an opportunity similarly. He uses clock here. They got good position at the moment. Armory is able to find top kill as well, and that's going to be the Owls now trying to find some space to do something. But the Barracudas, so far, so good, Alex. Not a bad spot. Knocking on the door of the second kill here.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush will get popped on the side of the Owls, though, and there is the opportunity. Barracudas were able to push the point pretty far, but that push may come to an end and does come to an end here after that Kitsune Rush is popped. The Barracudas will be forced back. They'll need to wait and take a reset here, but not if Alacath has anything to say about it. Window does come down as well. We do see the Orisa ultimate. Gonna find no one.
Man, this game is enthralling.
Yeah, I know, I'm so enthralled right now.
So much happening, yeah. We do see that Yak down there to the Al there at the end of the fight here. Barracuda is now trying to do what they can to the board. Maybe now on the Widow over Alacath as well. She wanted that Sojourn, doing a great job of getting it out so far. And here they go. Barracuda and knocking on the door of the second point. So close, trying to get the Owls off, but the Owls are coming back on minute picks. Yak finds Kirsten with the charge. Both teams just staying alive here. Oh, but Yags is going to go down, and that's likely going to end this push for the Barracudas, who are now nearing the 1 minute mark. this game, or this offensive rather, of the Barracudas closely coming to an end here.
The Owls are doing such a great job of holding this choke point, this hold here. As we've talked about in the past, this is sort of one of those difficult points to hold. Yes, there are a lot of corners, a lot of areas that you can hide behind, but once you get right in front of that checkpoint, it gets so difficult to really finish or really stop the finish from hitting that checkpoint too. So the fact that the Owls are holding this point right before, what a great shatter. It's gonna come down, but isn't able to find anyone. The Kasuna Rush is popped in response as well.
Wow.
And there they go. The Owls now taking the fight back to the Barracudas.
Oh my god, the shatter was thick. It was huge, but the protection Suzu by Aramori to come out and counter it, and then the Nano Doom comes out as well, and now the Owls are on the front foot, and they just cut that offensive loss and just get the Barracudas essentially done here. The Barracudas rushing the point, trying to do whatever they can. No ult online for the 5 seconds. Are they able to contest? Are they able to push the overtime, Alex? I don't know if they're going to be able to. That is going to do it. Certainly a respectable push. Nothing to scoff at. They were very close there. They essentially got 2 points there.
Yep.
They have a defensive opportunity now, to say the least, right? There is a sliver of hope.
Yeah, there is some hope here. The Barracuda is doing a great job. What a beautiful push, right? I think, as we said before, round number 1, Owls versus Barracudas. The Barracudas were dominated. They had no response whatsoever to the coaches. Here in round number 2, the second best of 3, we've really seen a lot out of both the Barracudas and the Owls, where the Barracudas are forcing the Owls in maybe a little bit more of uncomfortable situations than they were in round number 1, forcing them to adapt, to change up their plan, and it really puts them out on the back foot where the Barracudas can take advantage of that. And I think we really saw the Barracudas doing a great job practically getting 2 points here. It is not impossible, but it will be difficult for the Barracudas to really make this hold against the Owls, but they've given themselves some space and some time to do so.
Absolutely, yeah. You're not in absolute panic mode if you're the Barracudas, right? You know that even if you lose 1, 2 fights, right, that you're good. You definitely don't have a huge margin of error, but I think if you were to tell the Barracudas that coming into this match, they'd be like, yeah, of course we don't.
Yeah.
So it's all good, all the same, right? They're able to get some results out, and oh my god, Ophelia just punishes Baby for picking Widow this round. Just so strong. Right off the back, Triplet trying to go into the backline and now put pressure on them as well. But now with the LW, Apollo all moving forward here, the Owls are likely to take this point very fast. And that is rough for the Barracudas.
Can we talk about that opening pick, though? Because I really quickly want to look that over here. It was a Widow duel, Gababy versus Ophelia. But something really interesting about this is as soon as the doors opened, we saw Kiriko Amori on the Owls drop that protection Suzu to give Ophelia that second of invincibility, that invulnerability to just win out on that Widow fight.
Which is just experience. I mean, look at Aramori here.
Yeah, look at that.
Absolutely insane. And this might get ugly quick here, Alex. This is what we see typically of good teams, is they push forward essentially into spawn and make life so rough for the defending team here. And look how much space they have created for themselves. Look at where they're holding up here. Crazy. There's so much room. They're able to just push this cart for free. The Barracudas are essentially, look at where they're having to play this from. Like it's like the Owls have essentially already pushed the cart all the way up here, and this is what I was talking about that we see with these really good teams. They get you off balance, and now they make your life tough. Right? They're not even fighting. They're not letting the Barracudas fight in defensive positions where they have control.
Yup.
Right? They are controlling the movements entirely, and again, that's what we see from these very high-level teams. Alacath now on the Widow. Picks come out for the Barracudas, but it'd be tough to really contest this. The Owls already approaching the second point where they will win this match again. But we will see. And I didn't get to engage the whole time with the protection Suzu opening Widow pick here. that's just an experience difference.
Yeah.
We'll just gotta take your hat off. Such a high level play, so smart. Owls now. Kitsune Rush goes out,
And that's it.
and that.
And
Wow, man, just absolutely wiped away anything the Barracudas had going on, man. Goodness gracious.
yeah, and just like that, the Barracudas fought tooth and nail to get that cart as far as they could up to that second checkpoint. And just like that, the Owls come back and push them practically back into spawn after one team fight. Oh, it's just amazing to see the coaches play the players and do so well. I mean, I'm stunned. I'm honestly stunned. But I think you're right. Right, it's that experience. It's that understanding them a little bit more, time playing the game, where the coaches understand what needs to happen and what they should do and how to do it. So when they won that first fight and they push forward, they are catching the Barracudas off guard. They're catching them when they're not ready to team fight. They're catching them when they're easy to pick, easy to take out. And after that, the Barracudas just couldn't recover. All it took was one good Kitsune Rush, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's what good teams do. They control the pace, the things that you and I take for granted in our elo, the run back from spawn, right? Things like that are so easy. The high level players like this are able to make even that something that you have to overcome, and that's where they really take advantage. And something that happens fast, something that's very hard to react to. Again, played the game on their terms, and if you're looking to get better at Overwatch, you're in high school esports tower place.
Yeah, I mean, while we're talking about it, of course, a huge congratulations to the coaches for winning our double best of 3 show matches that we had here. But of course, let's take a look at the player of the week, of course, presented by Esports Tower. Score pro advice at esportstower.com. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure, and you'll get matched up with great players and professional coaches that will also kick your butt to help you get better and help you rank up. So of course, thank you to Esports Tower. Player of the week is Sweatpants on that Vultures. Just an incredible job on this tank, doing so much, playing so aggressively, getting so many picks. I mean, we could talk about Sweatpants all day long.
Yeah, we all love our tanks who are willing to push forward, put their life on the line, and just put the damage out there. And that's what Sweatpants did and continues to do week in and week out. So strong on the Roadhog. Absolutely spectacular, sensational Ryan. We saw some Winston play as well. Looking back at these highlights, you just see constantly in the mix of things, leading their team, which is exactly what you want from a tank player. Shout out to Sweatpants, very, very worthy of this Player of the Week award.
Absolutely. And something I want to touch on really quickly while we're looking at it, especially a lot of those early clips that we saw, a lot of these were enabled by the support players, whether it's the Lucio speed boosting that Reinhardt in or the Kiriko with the Kitsune Rush. Nothing is possible alone, right? You can't make these incredible plays just by yourself. You have a team behind you and supporting you, and sometimes our support players don't get quite enough love. So, of course, huge shout out to Sweatpants, but a huge shout out to their team as well, especially those support players who really enable these awesome, just team killing plays that we saw today and that we will continue to see next week and that we've seen in the past as well. Huge shout out to Esports Tower and a huge shout out to all these players. Wow. Yeah.
It's a fantastic time, man. What a night.
What a night indeed. This is not exactly how I thought it would go. Obviously, the Vultures Scorpions match was amazing. The players versus coaches match went completely how it blew my mind. It didn't go the way that I expected. But yeah, it has been a great day. I'm so glad to be here on the cast with you, Kyler. It's always good to see you.
Brother, it was a great time. I'm in Columbus, but my heart is with you all in Winchester. It was a fantastic, fantastic time. Thank you so much for having me on once more.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully we'll see you next time. But for now, congratulations to all the teams on a fantastic winter season kickoff. The players and the coaches had an epic battle and have one more round left to help settle the score next week. So if you tune in next week, we're going to see some more coach v player action. Can the players knock the coaches off, or will the coaches continue their dominant spree, which I have a feeling they might do that. Make sure to join us next Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST to find out. We will leave you with our top 5 plays, sponsored, of course, by Esports Tower. Remember, you can score pro advice at esportstower.com, improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched up with great players that we've seen all throughout tonight, and of course, great and professional coaches that we have also seen all tonight that'll just help you rank up and get better at whatever game you're striving to become the best at. But for now, I, of course, am Alexander T. Kresek, joined by Kyler. We will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your evening, day, whatever. See you soon.